So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to our podcast, our first and last podcast, maybe in this semester. So, this podcast exists to fulfill our final project, which is in public speaking course. So, before we start the podcast, let me introduce myself first. My name is Akhmad Ilmiansyah, and today I am the host of this podcast. So, let us invite the guests. Please welcome for the guests. So we already have our guests here. So guys, can you introduce yourself first by your name? Maybe starting from the my side.
My name is Dinda. My name is Khalisa Rahmani. Hi guys, I'm Yasmin. I'm Nadia.
So nice to see you guys here in our different podcast. So before we start the actual conversation, the actual discussion about our podcast, can you tell me a little bit about your background? Maybe start from that's it. Where are you from?
I'm from Barangay, Nataon in Lucimanima, Sapun. I'm from Banjarmasin and from Borneo.
So tell me, what about Dinda?
And I'm from Sampit, Central Kalimantan. And I'm from Nadia.
So it's nice to hear that we are from the different quality and different background. So with the different background, we can discuss about our topic. So the topic is about languages, local language. So because we are from the different background, what do you think about local languages in Kalimantan? What do you think? Is it still used in Kalimantan or not? Maybe because we are from different starting from whoever want to answer first, maybe Icha.
Mungkin yang Kalimantan still often use local language, but not as often as in the past. Because the young people, they're choosing to communicate by Indonesian language. They understand we is local language, but they choose to communicate with Indonesian language because so Nadia.
So it's the development of the digitalization and IT.
Yeah.
It's the reason why younger generation, especially use Indonesian language rather than local language. So what about the other? Maybe Nadia.
I think local language are still important because they represent our identity and culture.
Like, do you think that local language is still used in yes or maybe no? What do you think? Is it still used?
Yes,
So it's still used in but
I think local language in Kalimantan are still used today, especially in families and local communities. In my hometown, Merabai, many people still speak Banjar in their daily. However, some young people use it less often because they communicate more in Indonesian, especially at school, social media, or with people from different regions.
so it seems like Ika said before.
Orang
So this era, the digitalization is the language, local language especially is reducing in the younger generation. So what about you?
For me, I still use local language when I talk with my family or college friends, but when I talk to new friends or people outside Kalimantan, I automatically switch my language to Indonesian. So it's about 50-50.
Okay. So it's about the environment, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the environment, like when you with your family, like Icha, Yasmin, and Dinda said, you use local language, but with other people, maybe that people who we don't know, we use Indonesian. So maybe all of us also use English if we meet other people in other countries.
Yes.
So, but the decrease of the use of local language. What do you think become the main factor that really influence the use of local language that is integrated with Indonesian or English? Is it social media or maybe family or maybe education? Who want to answer? Maybe Yasmin?
Yeah, I think family and social media and the environment have a big influence.
So they are same influence.
Yes, and children learn language from their family first. So social media and they communicate like many young people use Indonesian more often.
Yeah, like we said before, right? The environment is really important. The internal in the local languages. So what about the other?
I agree with you and was know that like social media is the main reason why people use Indonesian local language. There's the young people spend a lot of time playing games, watching online content, in YouTube, or interacting with other people with different backgrounds. So they naturally use Indonesian or English.
Even us, right?
Yeah.
We rely on social media a lot. So that's why we also have that kind of behavior that's using Indonesian more than language. What about Dinda?
But I think there's also a stigma for it. Like when we talk in local language, people, not many people, but some people talk like they saw, Yeah,
People have stereotype with your background.
yeah, like that. So,
So they tend to use Indonesian more.
yeah, because I think they shy to speak big local language because that they so.
We understand it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when we speak in our native language or local language, like, yeah, they mock
John
your accent.
about the accent.
Yeah, sometimes they mock your accent. Maybe also they mock your where are you from? Like, Nadia, what do you?
I agree with Mutiara Yasmin. The family has the biggest influence. Children usually learn how to speak from their parents.
So we have specific reason from our guest that why local language is really used in Kalimantan. Like from Yasmin and Nadia and also Icha, they say that the family is the biggest role why younger generations use Indonesian language rather than the local language. In that things that it is also from the stereotype, right? The stigma, people's stigma about the local language that they can mock each other like that. Gaelic also in Exeter. So because of that, there are so many factors like it's become the influence of the use of Indonesian language, local language that integrated. So how do we overcome that? How do we face the challenges in the future? Local language is English that people tend to use Indonesian language now, maybe English. One, maybe Nadia.
I think the best way to preserve local language is by using them in our daily lives. We can speak them with our family, with relatives or friends who understand it.
So we see it like Banyan, not Banyan only, like local languages should be commonly used in the Kalimantan. So what about us?
I think we can preserve local language by continuing this them in our daily conversations with family and friends. And then young people can also use local language in social media content and learn more about their local culture.
Yes, I think I also agree with Jasmine because there are a lot of influencers that use local language right now, like maybe in producing their culture, like food maybe. And it can be the way of preserving the local language. So what about each other?
Personally, I agree with you two guys. We can make small action like daily conversation. We can use local language with our older family or with like Hussein said like content is content with local language or introduce our culture.
So it's the same assessment and
Yeah.
measurement. We can use the local language in daily conversation. What about Dinda?
I agree with other guests. To keep this language still alive, it doesn't need to be complicated. The key is use them and make them relevant again. Like we can talk from a small thing with your family or friends or siblings, or make a competition, traditional competition like storytelling or another traditional competition.
It's local language.
Yes.
So from all of our books, statements that we can use the local language in our daily conversation if the local language is preserved, right? You don't need to use the local language every single time, but you can use it maybe with your family, maybe with your siblings, or maybe with your friends. But we also use Indonesian language when we talk to other people. It's what you guys think, right? So the last one, the last questions. Do you have a message to the audience, like about the use of the phone? Who want to answer? A message? And you from that?
At the end of the day, local language is more than just a tool for communication. It's part of our identity and the way our ancestors understood the world. So if we stop speaking it, we also stop passing down the stories and flows in Kalimantan.
What a great message from all of us. What about Yasmin?
local language are an important part of our identity and culture. Even though we use Indonesia and other language, we should not forget our local language because they connect us to our roots and heritage.
So it's a meaningful word from Yasmin. What about Nadia?
I think local language are more than just word. They are part of our history, tradition, and identity. If we don't use them, they may slowly disappear. So let's be proud of our local language and do our part to keep them alive for future generations.
It's also such a great thing to say. Such a great thing that Nadia said to us. What about each other? You have a message.
I just want to encourage everyone, especially for young people, not to forget their local language. It is part of who we are and connects us to our culture.
So, from what I have heard, guys, so the local language is part of our identity. So we cannot forget them. We should use the local language even in our daily conversation to make it present. Like how we can the local language by doing that. So maybe that's the podcast that we talk about the local language. That our guests will also have the message that is already said. So maybe that's all our podcast. And I would like to say thank you for all the guests that who have tell us about their experience in using local language. And we close our podcast by saying alhamdulillah.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum
Warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kung bukan kan udah bismillah.
Tiba-tiba lu